that's
adores
not
women.
true.
No, but you can't.
A gentleman is
You're
a
basically
gentleman.
trying to
A
override
simp
my
is a
definition.
simp.
No, you're overriding my definition just by virtue of being a man. You being a man doesn't make you more knowledgeable in anything.
Every problem in this life, now man, cause
Well, if you trace it back, no, I mean we're living through petrol and fuel crisis, right? No, you're laughing, but
I'll hold it there. Hold on, relax. Now I'm not done.
Okay,
that one you don't collect that one. Chop that one. Now,
It's
what
not
I'm saying,
though.
I'm saying is,
I don't necessarily blame you because again, Nigeria, Africa is not a part of the world where men are sat down and taught about the importance of revering and respecting women.
that's not true.
Well, the reason why I say that is because you're not informed about feminism, and if you were informed about feminism, you will understand why it's extremely important.
Why would we? We've always loved women. We've always revered women. Our mothers, our wives.
You're speaking over a woman.
So?
That's not.
You're on
that's
my
rude.
show, first of all. Don't say speaking over a woman.
Well, I'm a guest.
This
and I'm
is the link
speaking.
up.
What's up, YouTube? JayBReacts back here with another video. Now, we had to go back to Wakanda for this interview. But for some reason, this woman, Childress, I'm not sure, the wannabe feminist, but definitely well known as a misandrist, is back on another podcast. And I'm always intrigued when I see a host hold her accountable or just check a guest in general when it comes down to blatant disrespect. Childress definitely tried it. The host put his foot down multiple times, but I'm gonna let y'all be the judge. Make sure I like the video, hype the video, comment below. And without further ado, let's dive into the content. Also, I will have a full display of this jacket that I am wearing, the Monk Mode hoodie from Duality Factory. I'll have a breakdown at the end timestamp for anybody who's actually interested in the jacket. And hopefully, I'll see you there.
Because I've met men that are also like, oh, I really like you, I want to marry you, but or you have to quit this job, you have to stop this influence, you have to. And I do have too much value, too much enterprising and industrious quality,
Can I
too
ask
much
why
brains
they want you to quit?
Because
no, please. I think we need to ask a man's point of view on that.
Okay.
Because they tend to say it. Rick Ross just made some video where he was talking about if he's dating a woman, a very funny video, that, you know, he's already a wealthy man, that
So
he might, even if she, no, it's not, even if he says she should not work, that's better than what he said. It was so condescending. He said, well, you know, you might be a doctor. You might tell me you're a doctor, you're a nurse. You need to amputate a leg or fix a leg, but then I need you. At that time, you're going to have to leave that. I know you went to school, you have a degree, you have a career. You just, you know, you've shown me that you can do it. In my head, it's like, who are you?
okay, so
The problem is that you're using Rick Ross as the standard.
please defend.
So
defend the cross.
please, really, why? No. And this thinking is quite rampant.
It's global, yeah.
Yes,
It's quite rampant. And some people may not even go that, you know, route. But some people will say, you can't do this profession.
Yes.
Because especially those of us that are like in the
That are
media,
in the media.
it's such a major thing.
Why do men have an issue with girls in the media?
You gotta tell us, please.
Explain. You
I
should
don't
know
think
why.
Teddy is
But you
suitable
just-
to
but you-
answer
but
that
you- but you
particular
said we
one.
should-
But the general one where
Okay.
I said, why do men do that?
Okay, yes, okay.
I'm not gonna mansplain, right? One thing I can say from my perspective is, it's really about the woman's ego,
Yeah.
right? Women have egos, right? Just like men do.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, can the woman handle her success when she is up there? Is she willing to still be submissive to her man when she's up there? In Rick Ross's,
Rick Ross's-
hold on.
Wait, in Rick Ross's
hold
situation.
on.
Let him finish. Okay, finish.
Hold on. The Bible does say the woman is the man's helpmate, right?
So what
Now,
about women that don't believe in the Bible?
Yeah.
if they
like,
don't, they
we're not all
don't. If they
religious.
don't, they don't. I can't.
But you're giving context. I get you.
Yeah.
Context, right?
Even if you don't believe in the Bible, there's no way in your right mind that you can still not say that you're gonna be a helpmate to each other. So still, it would technically still be right.
In the case of Rick Ross, he's speaking from his, would I say, his point of view, his POV, right? I'm rich. I give you everything.
Yeah.
I pay all your bills. I do everything for you. If I need you here, I need you here. Now, that's his perspective. Not every man thinks the same way.
My question
True.
is,
If
why
my
is that
woman-
perspective so popular? Because, no,
Hold on,
let me
we're
give you
asking me a
another
question.
Got a
example.
little bit of
Yeah,
lag.
context for the
Yes.
example.
So-
There's a man like
little
George
lag.
Clooney. His wife is Amal. he supports her all the
Successful
way.
lawyer.
But hello, in my opinion, speaking about
More
George
celebrities?
Clooney and Rick Ross, these are two different people. They see the
Yes.
world differently.
Very true.
George Clooney and Rick Ross are coming from two different worlds, right? He understands the woman he's with. He's probably been with one woman all his life or longer than Rick Ross has been. So you don't expect George Clooney and Rick Ross to see women the same way. The way I see a woman, I love to support a woman. I have no problem having a high value woman. I don't want a stay-home wife. I hate that. We both got to
Not
get
mad
it.
at it.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when we get older, we can enjoy what we have worked on together. But
I think it's nothing wrong with your guy want you to have a little bit of a softer life, but at the same time, ma'am, you got to do something. That woman over there, she did it again. She used celebrities as the example. Why are you bringing up George Clooney? This is why we might not want you in media, because you constantly seeing what these celebrities doing opposed to what the people around you doing.
points where you miss it is when you are not submissive.
I don't have a problem with submission.
Okay.
But submission, as the Bible defines it, because that submission.
Define it.
I mean-
Let's hear it. What?
Love,
Let's hear it.
women submit to your husband. Man, love your wife as God loved the church.
Okay.
Jesus died for the church, so God is
Died
ordering
for that
So
wife.
your man should die for you.
Yes.
Well,
So when he
how
dies for you, you go and marry
interpret
another
it that
man.
way?
Yes.
Forget that thing
I
there.
like it now.
Forget that thing. Jesus died for you, but you are
They don't
here.
even wait for you to die anymore.
Listen, Jesus
They
died.
don't wait for you to
Hello,
die.
let me say something. Jesus died for the world. But what
Yeah.
is the world doing today? We're pissing on
Teddy,
Jesus'
but what
name.
is in the Bible? I'm just quoting the Bible.
This has become
And
a
then the
Christian
wife is supposed to
conversation.
be submissive
Meanwhile,
to her
modern
husband.
women.
That's someone that's not
But a woman
Christian.
to the left,
I
yeah.
don't have a problem with
And she's
submission.
on the left, actually.
Hold on, I don't have
That's
a
crazy.
problem with
She's not on the right. And that's mad. Politically, she's on the left. She's a leftist. But that's dope.
Politically,
Wait.
I'm
Let me
about
just
myself.
let me just conclude
Cold
that,
switching.
right? So I'm saying I personally don't have a problem with submission because of how it comes to from the Bible.
Right.
Even though a lot of people misinterpret it, so I personally don't have a problem with submission. But I also have a bit of problem with language when you say we can now control the man. Because I don't see any reason why a human being wants to control
Control
another
another
human
human
being.
being.
Wait, hold on. So
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. So it's your language that I am personally talking about because you may be communicating the wrong thing.
So what you said about a man referencing submission and saying if a woman is submissive, you're pressing the man's move button. That's one of the mechanisms of manipulation that men use to try and mentally cajole women into thinking that if I submit, I'm controlling him. First of all, that doesn't make sense. And where I can come with experience and insight is in my spare time, I'm a dominatrix. For those who are not familiar,
Period.
Why are you clapping?
Exactly. I was gonna say the exact. Why are you clapping? Because she's a dominatrix. That's not an attractive profession. That's not something somebody should just want to seek out to say I'm a dominatrix. I dominate and peg men. Like that. That's nothing to be clocking it about. But see, you have women that just want to champion these things because they feel like she's living outside of the norm.
How is that girl power?
It is girl power.
That's nonsense. They are mumu boys now. Now Simps, you they do those things for now. You say dominatrix girl power. What is girl
so.
power?
Men like
I
to
don't
be
think
controlled.
some men
As I
like
was
it.
Those are Simps.
As I
They are
some men
simps
like to be
born-
sexually controlled.
No, they are Simps.
But in their real life,
Simpleton.
most of these men, in their real life,
Simpletons.
they are
Powerful.
controlling.
Those men were chihuahuas in their former
Teddy, I'm
life.
going to make my point. I'm going to make my
Let
point.
her make a
They
point.
got
Finish.
reincarnated.
Right. So as you can
Chihuahuas.
see, when I mentioned the word dominatrix, you can see how energetic and excited and I would say disturbed Teddy became. Because
Yeah, because that's
In
some
a-
bullshit.
I'll finish my point.
is.
You're gonna
Say
let the woman
dominatrix,
finish
dominate
speaking.
waiting. They flog men, they
As I
piss on
was
them, they
saying,
shit on them.
as I was saying,
You're
Teddy,
right.
you're gonna need to let me finish my point.
Okay, go ahead.
Disgusting.
In a country like Nigeria,
Yeah.
where culture is the forefront, a woman being dominant, let alone being a
Slum
dominatrix.
Hold on, y'all. Her name right here is the Slum Flower. That's crazy. I thought it was Childress, but it's the Slum Flower. Okay.
Creates a lot of discomfort, as you can tell in the room right now. The energy has changed, and the reason why that discomfort
It's just
exists
one
is
man. in the
because.
room.
Should dare
One
herself.
man.
And the reason why
Oh,
that
do-
discomfort
continue.
exists is because we are in a culture and a society that pressures women into being submissive with this thing dangled above our head, the reward of romantic love. Now, as a woman who is an alpha woman,
vice versa.
who makes my own money, and I date men who have money, including men who have more money than me, most of those men are extremely powerful in their real lives, and they seek out women who are dominant because they enjoy the idea of submitting and releasing power temporarily. Now, when men become uncomfortable hearing a woman talk about being powerful in the relationship, usually that's because a lot of men, especially Nigerian men, build their self-esteem around an inflated ego that's made of polystyrene. Now, polystyrene is something that's very easy to break, and that's why I don't agree with the idea of a woman needing to be submissive to be loved by a man. I've never had to submit to any man, and I still get my way, and I still enjoy the experience of dating men on my terms. So that's why I take issue with the whole idea of ego and submission, because men date from their egos. They don't date women to ask them, what can I take off your plate?
Yeah, but that dating from your terms is never going to get you real long-term results, because the guys that you actually dealing with is still based on how you treat them for that moment. And your services are going to be replaceable. They're going to find another chick that's actually going to do the same thing that you're going to do, and you're not giving them a real reason to actually stay around. So if it's just always transactional, why even keep you here? A lot of people stay together because of duty, service, the reason of having kids or family. Nobody's going to stay with you for no real reason. You're going to get old and you're going to get crusty and busted.
Date women to take from us, to take our sensuality, to take our sexuality, to take our labor. And they expect us to be freely giving and to fall into this mumu character, telling us mumu button. No, actually, when I press a man's mumu button by telling him, this is what I want done, and if you're a good boy, I'll show you what your reward is going to be, and you will do it.
And they do it, period.
Because of the dominatrix.
So my darling,
Because of a dominatrix.
Are you
I
done?
Sued.
my darling.
Hello,
my
ladies and
power.
gentlemen.
That's a bad.
This is the link up.
Sunflower, my darling.
Yes,
This is
Louis.
the link up. It is glaring you're a feminist. All right? You hate men.
I don't know if
That's not what feminism is, though.
It's not.
No.
How did we just jump?
I'll have her answer the question. You don't like her, do you?
I don't like misogynistic men, but most men are misogynistic. Next
So you don't
question.
like most men.
Yes, next
Okay.
question.
And you're a dominatrix.
Absolutely.
But you profit off men.
Yes, I should.
So if you hate men, why are you profiting off men?
Because men are the main wealth holders of the world, and men should redistribute their money to women, because women are actually making less money than men in
Why
a
is
world
that?
where we...
But if you was a feminist, wouldn't you want to go out there and get your own money so you don't have to depend on getting men's money?
What is that?
That's called patriarchy.
What is that? Patriarchy?
Yes.
So you're living in a man's world.
Well, we're living in a world that men have created on purpose to subjugate women. So it's not a man's world. The world has been created and birthed by women.
So now in let's
So it's a woman's world,
Let's bring
actually.
it. Okay, great. Let's bring it to Africa, right?
Yes.
Let's bring it to Africa.
Yes.
There was no such thing as feminism in Africa.
Who told you that?
Because women always held positions of power.
Not always.
Yes, always.
That's not true.
We had queens. We had warriors.
Doesn't
we
mean
had,
that they always held power, though, because
If
when you
you're
look at
queen-
the world's richest man, that was a man.
Where?
Musa.
Here?
Africa.
Okay, that was
Mansa Musa.
one of.
Okay,
you
so
had
can you
women
name-
who
can you
also
name-
had
can
money.
you give me just
Queen
one?
Cleopatra had money. She
Was
was
she
good.
African? That's a white woman.
White
No,
woman
Cleopatra
where?
was a black woman.
She's a black
Okay,
woman.
another one.
Woman goofy. Then the only thing she could say is another one. They just named you one, and you only named Mansa. So you name another one. You see how crazy that is?
Another one.
I'll just hold
Efroni
it there.
one.
I'll hold it there. I'll hold it there.
Okay, so the
I'll
point
hold it
I'm
there.
making
Hold
is
on,
that
hold
men
on.
are the
Relax
main
now. I'm not
wealth
done.
holders. Okay,
That one, you don't collect
get
that
to
one.
your
Chop that
point.
one. Now,
It's
what
not
I'm saying,
competition,
what I'm
though.
saying is, this whole concept of feminism is Western. It's not African. It's new to Africans.
That's not true, because
Hold
women are
on now,
subjugated
it's-
globally.
I'm going on with my question now. This is you're on the show. so
I'm
let's
correcting
have a
your question as you
conversation.
go along, but be
We can
saying what
fact
you're
check.
saying.
No, we have
It's not about
the fact
fact-checking, it's
checking
about-
off the show.
It's about how you articulate your point, so you
Okay,
don't say
great,
the wrong
great.
thing.
Now, what I'm saying to you
She
is
being
it's a
disrespectful.
Western thing. It is not an African thing. It's not
not
a
true.
Nigerian thing.
That's not true.
Fela's mother was one of the freedom fighters that we had. One of the top women that we had.
Which contributed to the global feminist movement.
Great, awesome. Now,
it's
what I'm
feminism.
saying is she's one of us.
Okay,
She's also a beacon of hope for other women.
just like Chimamanda.
What I'm trying to say here to you is
She
this
disrespectful.
concept of not liking men or not wanting to be around men is new to us. It is something that was imported
It's not
into
new. You
what
just
we
haven't
have
been
here.
listening to women.
So why are you a dominatrix?
So to first of all address your first point, because the two-part point you've made about, first of all, feminism being new to Africa, and the second point being why I'm a dominatrix, and both answers are interlinked. So thank you for both your questions. So my first answer to your first question is, feminism is not new to Africa. It's just that the way that we gather information and document that information has largely been done in the West. From the beginning of time, women have been rioting and fighting. In fact, one of the most famous feminist documented fights was the Aba Women's Riot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
True.
those women were wielding guns as well. So what we have to understand is that I don't necessarily blame you because, again, Nigeria, Africa is not a part of the world where men are sat down and taught about the importance of revering and respecting women.
That's not true.
Well, the reason why I say that is because you're not informed about feminism. And if you were informed about feminism, you will understand why it's extremely important.
Why would we? We've always
And-
loved women. We've always revered
Well,
women.
that's
Our
not-
mothers, our
You're
wives.
speaking over a woman.
So?
That's not.
You're on
that's
my
rude.
show, first of all. Don't say speaking over a
Well,
woman.
I'm a guest.
This
and I'm
is the link
speaking.
up.
That was a goofy retaliation point to say that you're speaking over me. You've been cutting him off and dropping your ad hominem attacks throughout his whole spiel. You have no respect for a guy if you want to say that. It works vice versa, man. The same thing you can do, someone else can do as well.
And you are going to enjoy
and Teddy is
us.
not going to speak over a woman as she's explaining feminism. It's so ironic, literally, as a woman's talking about feminism, you're speaking over. That's part of the problem,
I don't
right?
mean you know it.
Okay.
So when
100%.
women are discussing feminism, when women are discussing their empowerment, the first thing men want to do is interrupt and say, but that hurts my feelings. This is the
never
problem,
said
right?
that.
In every movement, including and especially feminism, people had to die. People had to lose their lives. People had to be offended for us to have the rights we have now. In fact, for you to have been safely
What
born,
rights is that?
I'm explaining now. For you to have been safely born, thank God, people had to riot and fight, write letters to their governments, and
How's
put in
that?
a lot of effort so that women can have safe access to childbirth
How's that? In Africa?
globally. But what
No,
I'm trying
we're
to
talking about in
talking
Africa.
well, Africa's part of the
But
globe.
even if we're even
You're
speaking
not
about statistics,
understanding.
apparently, like the statistics are quite high when it comes to like infant mortality, women, the amount of women
Femicide.
that die when they're
because
actually,
of
like,
men.
delivering.
Men, in fact, Nigeria.
of men, how?
Yes, let me explain my point. If you just let me talk.
It's
so
a question.
Nigeria is a country that is actually amongst the highest when it comes to domestic violence statistics. You're welcome to look it up. So
Actually
that means
bouncing.
men are beating their wives.
Oh,
also,
my.
intimate partner violence, which is known as statutory rape for another way to refer to it. That's very rampant and common in Nigeria where it's justified and supported for men to rape their wives. So there is nowhere in the world where it's safe to be a woman. Nigeria specifically and especially, it is not safe to be a woman. In fact, as of this conversation we're having now at this point in time,
That's funny that she say is nowhere that women should feel safe, or it's nowhere to be safe as a woman. But you got all these women that got their legs out, toes showing, all the things that they know guys are somewhat attracted to. And then you come over here, you got booty cheeks is out, breasts is out. So if you don't feel that safe, why are you showing so much skin if you just enticing the lions to attack you? This makes no sense.
few months ago, there was a rape festival that was held, and that was
Which was
large
very
on-
wrong.
very wrong, and it spread very much on social media because people were shocked. Now the problem is we're shocked, but there's a lot more worse, heinous things happening to women than we can ever imagine. So what I always
That's
ask
crazy.
men I meet who are very skeptical of feminism and who are not educated to understand the importance of feminism is I ask men like yourself, right? What measures do you take on a daily basis to protect yourself from being attacked, killed, murdered, or raped by women?
By women? First off, I would not be hurt by any woman physically.
Exactly, and I'm glad you gave
Thank
that
you.
answer, which
Doesn't
is the correct
mean
answer.
Doesn't
No, no, no,
mean
you've already said what you
women-
needed to say.
Doesn't mean
But
women
that's
do
You
not
said what
harm
you, no, but
men.
you said what you needed to say.
But
No. There are women that are a whole lot larger than men nowadays. I'll say this: the average size woman over here can possibly definitely do some harm to an average size guy in America. You got a lot of large women who can throw hands. So we can't sit right here and say that a man don't have to be worried about a woman fight. Don't get me wrong. In the back of his mind, he feel like I'm a man. I'm definitely gonna drop this woman. But you never know what can happen. And I'll tell you this: I don't think women are walking around thinking like, oh, every guy is actually trying to harm me. Because if you did feel like that, you wouldn't act the way how you act for the ones who do.
Don't have the
You said
fear
the
of
right
being hurt by
thing.
women.
That's
No,
Yes.
you
So-
said the right thing, and thank you for your honesty because the reason why I asked you that question and the reason why I appreciate your honesty is that your first thought wasn't, well, this is what I do. Now, if you ask any woman in this room,
I can give
we
you
have a whole
examples.
Rolodex
A
list
lot.
of the things we do just from stepping out of the house to make sure we come home alive.
You're
that
not
day.
harassed, you're not killed, you're not raped.
That's a global issue, and it's even worse in Nigeria, a country that's extremely misogynistic. So when you meet women who say they don't like men, if you don't identify with the traits being described, it shouldn't offend you. But the reason why men are quick to be offended is because they take it so personally. They've not done any internal work, any self-examination to ask, why do women feel the way they feel? What am I doing to contribute to this? Because you know what? Most men, I would say maybe even you, I wouldn't accuse you of being the person perpetuating violence. Now, I don't know what you're up to in your personal life. I can't vouch for any man. But what I will say is that you don't have to perpetuate violence.
Don't vouch for any man.
You don't have to perpetuate violence to still enable patriarchy. You can be a bystander. And most men are bystanders. They're cowards.
It's almost like a rape apology.
Yeah, they're
You don't have to be a
cowards.
rapist,
They care about protecting other men's egos before speaking up for a woman. I mean, we see it happen all the time. Whether it's parties, whether it's social gatherings, you will see a woman being harassed. You won't say anything, this is my boy, though. You guys care more about
Not
being...
really.
That's
I
what
don't,
men do.
No, hold on.
That's not true.
Not to cut you off, but I can... The whole festival thing, first of all, is appalling.
That's horrible.
You know, and I think every woman out there should condemn such nonsense. That's a travesty.
Absolutely. Yeah, as a bare minimum.
That's rubbish. However, I don't think any real man would be at a party or at an event and you see a woman being harassed or assaulted and you don't come to her rescue.
You'd be surprised how many of us in this room, and this is why I don't like that phrase real man, because it's obsolete. Any man can identify as a real man depending on what's convenient to him.
Not really.
But the reason why I say that phrase is obsolete is because most men, and I would say including yourself, will not willingly in their own time sit and self-examine and ask themselves, what flaws do I have? What can I do to take a load off a woman's plate without gaining anything sexual or personal from doing so? Because most men who call themselves providers, their provision is conditional upon their emotions and their ego. Most men who call themselves protectors only protect women that they're attracted to. So all of it is still conditional.
So love is conditional, basically.
Love from a man is extremely conditional.
So not from a woman?
It should be conditional from the woman as well. I believe
so
women should
it's on
conditionally
both
love
sides.
men. Yes, because of what men have created.
So why would you just blame the guy for withholding his resources if he's not getting access, but you can do it as well when it comes down to the things that you're supposed to give him? But it's okay, though. See, this is where she just talked just to talk because it made no sense.
Leads, right? You guys
So
are
man still
leaders.
created it.
Are you not
So
following what I'm saying?
every problem in this life, now man cause am.
Well, if you trace it back, no, I mean, we're living through petrol and fuel crisis, right? No, you're laughing, but this is a conversation we're
goodness.
having that's important to educate viewers and ourselves.
Right.
Right now, the problem we're currently facing in Nigeria, fuel crisis, right?
Yeah.
That's been caused by the war happening in Iran.
So
Yeah.
would
Those
you
are
say
men making those decisions.
would you say that if women were world leaders, the world would be different?
I would say the world would be more balanced.
How
And
do you
when
know
we
that?
Okay, let me answer your question.
Yeah.
So when we observe societies or communities where women are in charge, even making it even smaller than that, let's make it even more micro, right?
It's
Let's look at the
privilege.
home. Because the home is the place where leadership begins, right?
Right.
Men love to call themselves leaders, right? But the reality is it's the woman that's leading the home. She's carrying the whole entire labor of that house. She's scheduling.
That's
She's doing
crazy.
the school run. She keeps that home smooth to make sure men have the ability to go out and work and get
Allowed
promotions.
by the man, right?
I don't use the word allowed. I use the word actually they're being forced into that position.
They're forced.
If she chose it, she's still being forced into it. She wanted a family with a man, and she wanted the man to stay there, but she was forced into doing that. Okay.
Absolutely. I
But
mean,
they both own the...
look, Teddy, what we're not going to do is pretend that we can't see what's going on here. The reality is we live in a world where women are subjugated and forced and culturally pressured into a particular position. So much so that when a woman is a wife and you hear a woman say, my husband actually does a lot of the cleaning as well. In Nigeria, people will look at a man like, you know how you use
he's
the
a
word
simp.
simp?
The man
Now,
always
even the word
clean.
simp, right? It's a fascinating word because it's a word that men created to basically shame each other out of just being a gentleman. Like
So being a
anytime I hear...
dominatrix on a man is not being a simp?
First of all, I don't on men.
Piss on- piss on men?
No, I don't, that's an assumption. I
You
don't do
whip
that.
them.
If they pay me.
So that's not being a simp.
So, no, what a simp is actually is a man who is simply a gentleman who reveres, respects, and
No, that's
adores
not
women.
true.
No,
Not
but you
true.
can't.
A
You're
gentleman is a
basically
gentleman.
trying to
A
override
simp
my
is a
definition.
simp.
No, you're overriding my definition just by virtue of being a man. You being a man doesn't make you more knowledgeable in anything. It just makes
We're
you a man.
saying if you...
Men
If men
created
allow them-
the
hold on,
phrase
hold on, hold on,
simp
hold
to
on.
shame
If
other
men
men
allow
out of
them
serving
simp-
and respecting women.
If men allow themselves to be whipped,
Yeah.
to be I don't know what dominatrix people do.
Pegged.
So you don't know, but you're
to
making
be pissed
assumptions.
on, to be shit on. I mean, we
That's
hear about
not
how
my
girls
lane.
go to. Okay, great.
You're talking about men who are in the micro minority.
We
I'm
hear
talking
about how girls go to Dubai.
I'm not one of those girls, so I can't
Yes.
speak on that. But you're going to the extreme.
No, it's not.
So what does a dominatrix do?
Okay,
So
thank
what
you
do
for
you
that
do? Ask that
question.
question.
Thank you for that question.
You
So
were-
I-
He's talking about the extreme. Any man out there has probably scrolled upon some type of dominatrix porn, and you know exactly what goes down in that realm.
You went on
explain.
this.
Because you're asking me really annoying questions that's taking me out of my
What
point.
does a dominatrix do?
Thank you for the simple question. What does a dominatrix do? A dominatrix is a dominant woman who, with consent given on both ends and a mutually agreed dynamic, gives men instructions, orders, and tasks. Now, that man is in the role of submission because the woman is above him. He sees her as his superior. He financially serves.
That's weird.
He runs errands for her. For example, let's say you want to go and send something to Yaba. He will organize for that to be done. He wants and endeavors to make her life as easy, comfortable, and pleasurable as possible. It doesn't always involve humiliation. For example, there are men who are into the financial domination. Those are a lot of the men that I see. Those men love to give money to women. In fact, a lot of the men who have given me money, they ghost me. So people have this assumption that these men are loser simps. These are some
they
of the most
ghosted.
powerful men that I've met. And funny enough, when I meet men in real life who call themselves dominant, they're the ones who usually don't have that much power in real life.
So they basically it's a service related domination.
It's psychological play. So when a man is powerful, and I mean he's in charge of companies, he's in charge
Right.
of making the rules and in charge of other people, men often get bored of that power.
Okay.
And they seek out women who challenge them and
They
put
wanna
them in their
relinquish.
place. Yes. And also,
Man.
when you were talking about relationships earlier and we were discussing power, relationships are all about power. Money is about power. And that's why money is extremely important in a relationship. And that's
Right.
why I take issue with the very stereotypical Nigerian dynamics of a relationship where the man is the sole provider and he's telling a woman to stop making her own money because he can use that to control her. A man who is not threatened by a woman's income, job, or finances will not only encourage her, he'll be giving her money to invest
Most
and grow
men.
her money.
Shit, I can't speak for Africa. I can't speak for that side of Nigeria, wherever these people are from. But in America, most men would appreciate a woman with a good job. It's just going to be the backlash of how she actually treats him because she now is working or she is more stressed out. Both people are gonna deal with stress a little bit differently, the man and the woman. So now you're still trying to please her while she has to still please her company. So she could be a little bit torn when it comes down to y'all relationship now being at home.
Use his bricks to build her empire and he's just happy to be there. And there are men like that who exist.
I think we should segue, and I'll let you continue.
Yes.
Yep, she said a segue, and we're gonna end it right there. I think this comes, and y'all can finish this in its entirety. This comes from a place of privilege. This is when you're more of a privileged individual, and you can speak like this to say that men don't actually protect women. Men have not built the world up. These women, they still benefit from the patriarchy. You being able to work, you being able to have all these rights, because I hate to say this, if the world was an anarchy and men did want to just dominate, guess who's gonna have to stop that? It's gonna be other men that's gonna have to fight that war. So to even say that men don't really care about it is crazy. Why are men having things established the way how it is if they didn't care? Because they could do it the opposite way, which would be full anarchy. But guess what? Men have emotions, men have feelings, and men understand that that is wrong. We understand that's wrong, and we understand that there are men that's still capable of it, but we want to stop those men. We don't want men messing up our women like that. See, that she lose sight on people when they have like real community, family, and traditions to where you don't want nothing committed of harm to your woman. That's why it's like nobody's really in tribes anymore. You got crazy people. You have crazy people having more crazy people. And then you mix them with people who actually got traditions and morals, and now you say everybody bad. That's not the case. I still think it's a select group of people. Like this, whatever her name is, she done changed it to the Slumflower. Thought it was Childress or something like that, Chidera. She has a very skewed viewpoint of life depending on how she came up. She obviously doesn't care about the men in her family or how they're treated. She wants to live it her way. And guess what? You have the right to. There's gonna be men out there who are willing to pay her to do all these things and acts, but she's always gonna be service-based, and she's gonna get older and older. And I guarantee you, she's gonna drop this persona and she's gonna get married to somebody who gonna possibly take care of her or give her more resources, because most of these women still don't want to be out here working hard like a man. And I will stand on that. I just do not believe it. They still want some form, like they said, I'm in media because you get to be all dressed up, you be cute and pretty, all this stuff, dolled up. Guess what real men got to do when they really working? They got to be dirty as hell. Dirty, sweaty, stinking. And most of them don't want that. Man, I when I drive early in the morning sometime, going to my line of work in aviation, I'll see people working on the highways, bruh. And it really just shows you like that. You don't have it as hard as you might think you do. Because I saw this dude covered in, goddamn, I guess you could say cement, asphalt. I don't know what it was, but he was a white dude. His hair was all stringied out, but this man looked like he came out of a chimney. And he was just right there, just still working. I'm like, damn, you covered in that stuff, bro. Imagine that ride home. But see, these women, this all comes from a place of privilege. So now I want to go ahead and do, before I actually get into the jacket spill, make sure y'all like the video, hype the video, comment below this. You got JayBReacts. But let's go ahead and get into this jacket. All right. I don't normally do this, but yeah, I'm gonna stand up. Jacket has a pocket right here. You got a pocket in the center right here. Feels pretty good. It's like a mesh type of pocket. Pretty smooth. This can fit a little oversized depending on the size that you are. This is a large. I'm not a super large guy. I'm like in the 170s, about 5'9", 5'10"-ish. So for me, it can fit a little large depending on the type of fit you want. But if I was to order another one, I'll probably get a medium just to have it fit a little bit closer to me. But depending on your size, you can order it according to your size. But other than that, I like the fit. It has drawstrings on the side for you to tighten it up at the bottom. You can tighten it up on the neck area. It is a hoodie as well. It's rain proof. It's the tracksuit. The brand is Champion on this. It's like a tracksuit type material, like a windbreaker or whatnot, but it's very breathable at the same time. So I mean, you can really throw this with anything. You about to work out, before you work out, running, all type of things. Now going into the actual quote for me, even with just the Duality factory itself, I wanted to come up with something that just has meaning towards me on the way how I live my life, the way how I think. So for me, these quotes and sayings just really hit home for me. And it's just something interesting. But of course, we all know monk mode. Monk mode represents discipline. Whatever form, whatever fashion that is, or what that means for you, that's how you can express it. You know, if I wear it and when I see it, it reinforces the discipline that I have to have in my life to continue this journey that I'm on. Because it's hard to hard to walk a straight line. Sometimes we do veer off, but we understand and we see things that remind us of the path that we are on, and they can kind of just help with that process. But I wanted to give that spill for everybody who's right here watching this moment. I appreciate you 100%. If you do purchase anything, y'all send a picture or give me an email about it, and I'll make sure I put it in the community post section to definitely shout y'all out. But hey, much appreciated, man. And this your guy JayBReacts. Until next time, y'all. Peace.